Okay, guys, I am going to be walking you through our next project, which this is a mixed media project. I haven't done this project in a long time because I get a little frustrated when it comes to this, just because I feel like maybe students just don't fully understand the project that the times I've done it past. So I'm gonna try to do this a little bit differently this time when I introduce it. So we are doing Altered Books. Altered Books is a mixed media project, and mixed media is just combining a lot of different materials together to create the outcome. So we have here a old library book. This is actually one I did a long time ago, probably either my first year teaching or during, I don't think I did it. I think this is probably first year teaching I did this. So anyways, we have like an old library book, which I have a bunch of copies of. Like, I have a bunch of old library books that I've been saving for this project. So you don't have to worry about that, but it's got to be a hardcover. You can't use a soft cover book for this. So we're going to have an old library book with a hardcover, and they are going to be divided into at least 5 sections. Now I have actually 6 here. Actually, I call them spreads, because you're going to kind of do one spread that has a similar theme on both sides. Okay, it's not just, you know, a page and a page. It's going to span the spread of the book. So this is going to take some time, but we're going to have several different deadlines for this. So the first deadline we will have, and I have it posted, but we will have a worksheet. It's not really a worksheet, but it's a planning page. So you'll get to choose from a couple different theme ideas, and you'll have to kind of figure some stuff out before we start. And I think that's where I've gone wrong in the project before, is I didn't make kids plan. They just picked a theme and just kind of went for it. So we're going to do a little bit more planning, thinking beforehand, and I think that will make this project a lot more smooth. So this is just one of the planning pages you're going to have for like the overall overview of the book, and then you'll have a planning page for each of the other like individual spreads to kind of think through your stuff. So anyways, you'll do, this is the inside cover, the front inside cover, and you'll also do the back inside cover. Now we won't start with those. Those will be more towards the end, but you'll divide up your sections first, and you will bind them. You can bind them all the same. You can bind them differently. I kind of bound them according to what I was planning on doing in each one. Sorta, kinda. I had originally started doing this where I glued all the pages together, but it made it really hard. And I started to notice that it was kind of causing some ripping in my book. So I stopped doing that, and I decided to kind of bind them softly to where it was still a little bit bendable. And I just punched holes and kind of threaded stuff through. You could also hot glue your section together and like sprinkle glitter on it or other little objects. Really, it's whatever. You just have to be creative and kind of think outside the box. So as far as themes go, I'll talk about this book. This book I did about me at that time and what I was still really into, and I'm still really kind of into most of this. But so this first section was first 2 sections is actually about dance. I was a ballet and hip hop, jazz kind of dance. I printed off some quotes, some classic pictures. I did watercolor as my first layer. So you can still see the words behind, and I even did some. So this is actually a printout of a drawing I did, and then I kind of cut out the background and glued it down. So thought that made it more personal that I used some of my own art in it. This one is a bunch of other reference images and some found objects I glued down, as well as some more quotes and printouts of either magazines. I think these are from magazines, which I have a ton of those. But I did several layers. I do like a background color, and then I did like that raised kind of puff glue and some glitter. This one, you guys will all have a section where you have to have a secret door. Okay, So this one has a secret door. And again, lots of different materials. This was actually supposed to be my doorknob. I don't know if you can kind of see, it's kind of raised up, but lots of different dimensions and like 3D objects you want to kind of add and apply. But again, this is, you might have seen this hand in my room. I have this cut out, usually up on my cork board. This is also something I did in college for a graphic design class. And then I even have like some little stickers, some thick, like, oh, what is it called? Scrapbooking stickers. You could, lots of scrapbooking stuff you could use to apply to this as well. This is from an art magazine that I liked and cut out as well. So, and then more of my religious. I actually never got to finish this one. I was planning on gluing a rosary to it, and I just never did. I think because I just didn't want to glue any of my personal rosaries down. But you'll also have a section where you have to have like a window. So I have this kind of burned out into and cut through some pages there. So that's something else you will have to do for your things. And then when you're all done, last thing you will do will be your outside cover, because the inside, just like most books, the inside is what is important. The outside, you know, not as much. You still gonna have to do something. I just painted this black and added this pretty like material. So a bunch of this stuff was my own personal materials. So I don't have a bunch of this kind of, you know, stringy yarn. If that's something you want, you'll probably have to go purchase that on your own. So anyways, that's kind of one book I did. And then here's one that I started maybe a year or two after that one that I was starting to do. And I took a different approach with this one. This one was about my trip I took to Italy when I was in college. So I was probably like second or third year teaching when I did this one, so it was still really fresh. So inside cover, I have again, this one's not done. I haven't worked on it in a while, but you can kind of see the different styles I took with this one. Inside cover, I did Italy. I did a section on this one for each place I visited. This one, Vatican City, Rome. I haven't gotten very far on there. Pompeii, which again, haven't even started, but I have some ideas still written down that I plan on doing at some point. And then again, I think I've got my notes for this one. Yeah, back here. So anyways, I took a more unified look on this because it's over a trip I took. So I wanted all my sections to kind of have a similar look. So I did watered down, you know, Italy's a very old country. So I wanted my book to look aged, so I watered down some watercolor and I applied that to the edges of all of my sections to kind of unify them. And then all of them are going to have photos on them of the that I took. It's more personal that way. And I have my window here. Now this one I have not, and I might still have a secret door, but I kind of tweaked the assignment since I've done this. But all of them also are going to have like a drawing on them. So that's a drawing. That's a drawing, my border there, that's a drawing. This is a work in progress drawing. It's the inside of the Pentagon. No, not Pentagon. Pantheon, sorry. They're very similar. So anyways, but I have a bunch of cutouts and I'd written down several ideas of what I was going to do. And this is something, let me see if I can get it to focus a little bit better. This is something that you guys will have to do as far as, this is similar to the worksheets that I print off for the planning stage of it. You'll have to kind of sketch out some different layout ideas. You'll need to figure out what kind of ideas you want to apply with that section, maybe what materials you're going to use, things like that. So there are a ton of examples online, and I'm going to actually pull some of those up for you to view. Let's see. So I typed in altered books here, and you can see there's all sorts of different ways to do it. Now, we're not going to do something like this because you can't really use the full book. Obviously, we're not going to do anything like that either. This is probably more of the style. They've got acrylic. They've got these cutout flowers, lots of different mediums. They have some parts of this that are probably a magazine cutout, but then they have gone and expanded the image with some paint. You could do some block out poetry, maybe in a section. This is some examples of block out poetry. You could draw an image but like find some words you want to key out and focus on. So so that is kind of the overview. Lots of different materials. Make it personal. Makes it a little bit more enjoyable if it's personal. And it doesn't have to be super personal, just things that you like. I also have on here, let me find my tab. So I put together this slideshow that I also posted, and it kind of goes through the assignment. Something I need to highlight is exactly what we're going to be grading this on. So each section, the planning page alone is going to be 20 points, and there's 5 of them. So that's going to equal out to 100 points. That will be their own grade. Each section or spread is going to be 100 points per section, and those are going to each have at least 3 layers on them. And they'll all have their own individual deadlines for their grades. You'll do your outside covers front and back for 100 points. Both inside covers for 100 points each, so 200 there, for a total of 900 points. And so this is a huge project that you do not need to slack on, because there's a bunch of grades that are going to go in this. So we're gonna, first thing you're gonna need to do is determine your theme for your book or for each section. So here's some just like basic ones. So like obviously I've done this one and I've done this one. You could do these 2, which obviously I think this one's a lot of people do, but I also included this link here to which you'll have access to this PowerPoint, to a bunch of other theme ideas. So you could use these themes as for the whole book, like maybe you pick one out and say you do King Arthur and you kind of retell the story of King Arthur, or you do this, I don't know what Greek growth is, but like Greek mythology, that's what makes me think of it. And maybe you do a different god or goddess on each page or each section. That's more section, that's what you need to do. Or maybe you find a couple of things that you just really have an interest in, and you do each spread for these things that interest you. So there's that if you are kind of stuck. And you don't have to pick off of those. You could, pick other ones, but that maybe will at least get your brain going. These are some other things you can do if you're kind of stuck. This is a cool video I found over just how to do a mixed media piece, and the different techniques that this person used will probably be similar to the things we do here. And then this one, you guys will all have to watch probably at some point, because we are going to actually do a photo transfer as part of the assignment in one of your sections. So again, this was my planning set. I actually have typed up this, but at home I didn't have it. So I just kind of hand wrote the idea of the overview. Okay, so I have that one for you typed up. If you're at home and can't use the actual typed up version, just do something like this in your sketchbook. Again, and then each section will have its own planning stage. Also, I will have a typed up version of this if you're here, but if not, you could do something similar to that in your sketchbook as well. You'll need to gather your materials and reference images. We can run copies of photos. This is a copy of a photo that I took, and however, downside of it is I don't have a color copier at school, but we can print things in black and white, and then you can use color pencil or marker on top of it, or even paint to apply your own color to it and give you another layer that way. And then when we go through, you're going to pick out a book. We're going to divide it into the 5 different spreads. You can have more if you want, but minimum is 5. Okay. We'll bind them. Again, we'll kind of go through each spread. Each spread has a little bit different directions. And I did it this way just so that I feel like the last times I've done this project, kids are confused on where to get started, how to go about it. So I try to simplify that to give you guys a guide, and I think that will make this also go a lot more smoothly than they have in the past. So this one, you'll follow that step. Spread 2, which again, you'll approach all this as you get to that spread. So don't get overwhelmed right now. We're going to take this one spread at a time. But if you're wanting to look through and kind of have an idea, like spread 3 is going to be the secret door. Okay. Spread 4, like spread 2, I think you'll have to use tissue paper somehow in the background. And spread 4, you're going to get a little bit of your choice of stuff in this one. Spread 5, you'll need a window, but then you also have a bunch of stuff that's your choice. Inside, front and back covers, outside covers. And then here's a tip page, and that'll be it. So I know that was a lot of information, but I want you to especially understand the points for this. This project, even though it's broken down into several different grades, total it's 900 points. So you've got to make sure that you are working on this when you're at school, and that you use your time wisely. So I also posted today, let's see. Well, it will post. It hasn't posted yet. Today will be the planning stage, okay? And then we'll go from there. So anyways, that is the end of our meet. I got to figure out how to get back and into this meet. There we go. And how do I get back to my screen? There it is. All right. That is it.